like to
You're pretty good at it.
really maybe here, but at work, in my day job, I've had people text me to control your face.
Okay, we're streaming, so
Motion to exit executive session at 9:42 p.m.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carries. Okay, it's 9:42, so I'd like to speed through this agenda. We just took a executive session break to conduct interviews and we're back. Town board member time, is there any?
I guess this is more appropriate on board member time. I just forgot in liaison reports on Tuesday. I went with John from the ECC. I'm just not a liaison to the ECC. That's why I forgot this. I went with John from the ECC and met him at our woods.
Property.
Our
Property with woods.
our property by the solar panels where they want to do the environmental site study. And we took a very lengthy hike for 2 hours to get there. And I will be finishing up the grant. John did what he could on it. I'm gonna finish up the grant hopefully next week. It's due on the 25th. And run it past our county legislator, Chris Hewitt. After walking there, I have a lot of ideas of if we do want to make it a park, that's more of a scenic, environmentally protected park. I have some ideas on how we can kind of do a combo to get revenue from it. Also, that I'll bring back to you guys and can talk to you guys about further. But I just wanted to, for public wise, let you know I'm working on that grant and we'll hopefully have it submitted on time and everything to John. And that I went and toured our area. I also had never seen our solar field and it was a lot.
It's big.
It's larger than I knew. But yes, so that happened. So that's all I have.
Any other town board member comment to any?
Yeah, well, first off, I want to thank Bea for coming here today and speaking as she does every year. And also her comment directed at me. I think, she's right. We have obviously been talking with KFAS and trying to get the information we need. I know that there's been some concerns expressed by the board. I've been thinking to myself, I need to reach out to the committee and let them know the status directly, because I know we updated in the meetings, but I owe them a contact to see what next step should be. So I will take that feedback, and she's correct, and I will make sure that I make some time to reach out and update them on what the latest is.
I was thinking, should we, when we have that budget talk, should we invite the board and meet with them before, like?
I was gonna
Yeah,
suggest that
that's a
because
good
that's what
one.
we did last year. We
Yeah,
had both here, we had the committees here, and then both first aid squads came and met. I think we did both first aid squads, let them talk, and then we had the committees come in and join the table and talk to
Yeah.
them with us.
Yeah, I think we absolutely should do that. And we haven't seen budgets from either.
correct.
Yeah, they're not due till the 15th.
Well, that's the deadline we gave.
Right. Did reach out to KFAS and they did confirm they're still working. I had other comments, but I think we have enough on the agenda, so.
Yeah, I know, it's a very chatty evening.
Well, I appreciate everybody coming and talking about concerns on Route 6, because it's, anyone who's been on that road knows it's definitely speed limit. So.
I know.
There for 3 years. I drove that.
I
road
didn't
every
like
day,
that.
and I would have never been for once.
I just love meetings when a lot of people come. I always am thinking how we can make these so that more people come,
One thing that-
Shorter is one.
Yeah, one thing that I was reflecting on was the unity that we had people coming specifically, but then everyone was saying, can you look at this area? And like, I think the idea that we really need to have like a very comprehensive, we talked about this before for another road, but like we need to be lowering speed limits and thinking about ways to slow people down. Because I think everyone who lives here is like, please, we really, I felt like it was there was a lot of camaraderie around organizing around this issue.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean,
Agree.
people's pets have died and could very easily be, residents.
Well, people
Yeah.
have died.
Oh, yeah, people, because you can't see people in the shadows of the trees. I mean, I think that people who don't live here do not understand things like that. Like, they do not know that you cannot see somebody under a tree in broad daylight if they're walking in the wrong shadow, I just think that education can go a long way, signage can go a long way. I don't know, I'm not a road safety expert.
We need a
but
public
it's definitely
safety
important. Yeah.
We have like a public safety fair day.
And I could argue too that the locals are just, you know what I mean, if they
Oh.
don't live on that, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, not there, but like
Okay,
I push all the
I
time
understand.
voicemail, like. when
We're
there's a
all
stop
just as
sign,
bad.
I'm like, when I was a kid, I used to drive so fast on
I-
voicemail, where I also lived there pre-stop sign and like when it was slower and all farms for the most part on it, but like I drove like crazy there.
We're all just as bad, but which is why we have to change patterns of behavior. And those speed signs that flash at you and record, like, that's one way. Another way is like, it's not just about people making choices about whether or not they're gonna speed on a straight road that's downhill, but there are ways of looking at infrastructure and improving infrastructure so that people have to slow down.
Yeah. Speed bumps, curves, bump outs, like, that's why with the Boyce Mill Bridge, when like they were gonna straighten the road out. And when the neighbors were talking about it being too big, they're like, oh, they put the curves back in to keep that from being a place where people would be Yeah.
speeding up. So there are other ways of doing it, and I think we see, like, Lucas is a perfect example, and there have been deaths on Lucas. So
It's a
anyway,
challenge when it's county and state. that
Yeah.
make the sign.
I think
Yeah, that's what I was
what
gonna
I'm
say. It feels
hearing-
good to have it. Makes me nervous because I don't know how.
let's cross discussion item B off of our list, because what I was just gonna get your blessing. I had already asked Mary Lou to research all the things that we could do to do that communication, so she's gonna have that for us. Okay, and I'll just let her know that we were all aligned. Okay.
we're not voting on.
No, I mean, I don't have anything to vote on.
Erin, can you add to that, just cause I would like Kaiser by the school to be
Oh,
a
yeah.
school zone. It's the only school in the district that doesn't have a school zone on the road that leads to it, and I am a little biased because I live directly next door, but because of that, I witness the driving on that road constantly.
Yeah.
It's super, super unsafe for it to have a school there, like, let alone like me with like my own personal, like just me, my dog and my little kid that I'm worried about, like there's hundreds of kids that.
Yeah.
just
I was
are in the
gonna
area.
get what Marbletown did, and we'll just,
I think like
if we have like,
school zone might be different.
if
than-
we have a checklist of all these different, I thought we got a lot of ideas for roads. Town roads, we can just, for some of that stuff, I can just have Jeff look at some of that stuff and then we can. But for county and state roads, we cannot. Okay, let's move into resolutions. Do you guys want to do as presented?
Yeah, do you have the donations, cause I am happy.
I don't have the donations.
It's on block vote, but yeah, we can just do that, I make a motion to accept resolution B as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carries. I had my budget mods and they're in the printer, so do you guys want to see them on my computer? I can describe them to you.
I was gonna say, you just walk me through it,
So we're
I don't
skipping
see
C
it.
for now.
Each table.
So
Wait. I thought we just voted on, so don't.
We voted
Voted
on
on
B.
I mean, that's.
C is tabled because I
It was confusing.
was handed one and then I was told this this isn't all of them, and then it was taken away, so I thought we were gonna get them tonight, so I didn't have them on my agenda.
We should just do them the fall.
Where are my documents?
I'm not confused.
We voted on the
Action.
John minute.
Okay.
That's one we're going on,
We're not
tabling
voting.
C.
Now we're
And
moving to
Aaron's
general
pulling up
fund.
the image. C, right?
Okay, so this is a set of resolutions that goes together.
I'll do that. Oh, you mean D, E together is what you're saying, Aaron?
Yes. Michael, can you text Pete about the end part of F?
Mhm.
Okay, so the budget modification for general fund, I'll just read it off to you. I'll make the motion that the town of Rochester Town Board authorizes the town supervisor as budget officer to modify general fund budget by taking $7,027 out of budget code 5010.113 highway secretary and moving it to budget code 1410.113 deputy town clerk 2.
Second.
Any discussion? So basically, we are defunding the highway secretary position and funding deputy town clerk 2, so that that position is funded for a 40-hour a week position at the rate of pay that the employees. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, motion carries. And do you want to, I'll email this.
She has it here, but just as a consent.
Right, so we're gonna have to put it in the resolution.
Okay.
But I can email it, so that
Okay.
this one is longer. So for highway, so I'd like to make a motion that the town of Rochester Town Board authorizes the town supervisor as budget officer to modify the general fund budget. So this is 6 modifications. So basically, we're gonna take $6,000 out of 5140.440 professional services tree trimming and move it to 5130.2 machinery equipment. We're also going to add $64,881.89 to 5130.2 and $47,110.81 to 5130.2 machinery and equipment. So that budget total for that line for the year will be $437,993. On the revenue side, we're adding $64,881.89 to 2680 insurance recoveries and $47,110.81 to 3501 CHIPS revenue.
I will,
Second.
these are highway, Aaron.
Yeah.
I will second for the highway fund, general fund, that's what it has.
Oh.
On the agenda, it's general fund budget.
No, we're in E.
Oh, so then, yeah, no, never mind, not
Oh,
that, as Aaron said, second.
Okay. So,
Excellent.
the chipper was totaled. We got an insurance recovery of $64,881. So I am modifying the budget to reflect that revenue. We also got 47,000 and change additional CHIPS revenues. That all needs to be in the machinery equipment so that we can authorize those purchases. So while that budget code is going up, our revenue is going up.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah,
same
in the
amount. And then the difference, the chipper will cost the town $6,000. So I moved that from the, that's being moved from tree trimming because we're not gonna use that at all.
Yes.
So, so that will basically, the new chipper is gonna cost 6,000 once we, and then also, I think this was just an Well, no,
Wait, I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Okay, you didn't misspeak on the first number that we got. Correct.
Correct.
Okay, good, carry on.
I know, yeah,
Carry on.
we're like,
Keep
okay,
moving.
great.
Great, amazing, yes, wonderful news.
Yes. So,
Fully approve it.
so, there was, I think, an oversight from this line, so it was over from some of the chips purchases, but I'm moving that now. So now it's a balanced
Great.
budget line. Okay?
Great.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Yeah, it's from the insurance company. Oh, I brought that for you to show. I wanted you guys to know that it was in there. Okay. So.
Back answer.
Yeah. So. Did you? Okay. All right, so recommended resolution that the town of Rochester Town Board amends the grade and wage scale for the remainder of 2024 for the following position. Deputy Town Clerk 2 is now in grade 4 at the rate of $23.50 an hour for 40 hours a week.
Motion. Just
Motion.
motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries.
I wasn't doing the motion because I felt like you were in a rhythm. I'm sure it's stupid.
Yeah. fine, yeah.
Yeah,
Can't she make the appointment?
she can, but I don't know if we should we can recognize it. I know what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So-
we can write it down, change.
I want to recognize the appointment that Town Clerk Gunberg is making for Jessica Bowden to the position of Deputy Town Clerk 2.
I can look ahead.
She typed that in.
Perfect.
Great, second.
So I will.
We don't have to make a motion, I just wanted to. Okay, so designation of additional duties. With the consent of Town Clerk Gunberg, the Town of Rochester Town Board assigns additional duties of the Highway Department Clerk to second deputy clerk.
Did you make it?
No,
I'll make the motion.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carries. So I'd like to make this motion that we appoint Courtney Coffey to the position of zoning coordinator provisional status for 35 hours a week at the rate of pay established. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carries. Okay. Voicemail bridge contract revision. The Town of Rochester Town Board authorizes the town supervisor to sign the contract addendum between the Town of Rochester and Hudson Valley Engineering Associates, PC, DBA, HVA engineers, to include right-of-way mapping and acquisition services and increase the not to exceed amount by $15,000 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carries. So I'm gonna check something that Mary Lou go on real quick. All right.
I don't think I've spelled your name the same place.
Spelled the same way.
No, I.
People spell it wrong. Cause it's not spelled how it sounds. Oh, my last name. I thought you meant my first name. No, my first name, right? Yeah, when you put an extra E.
I don't know everything.
Char-O-Let.
I got two L's here, an extra L in there.
T.
TL.
O-E-T.
Oh, SH.
No, it is, I was spelling Charlotte.
Okay, that's what I thought.
CH.
All right, so,
I know.
so the town of Rochester Town Board authorizes the highway superintendent to procure a chipper by piggybacking off a state bid per the town's adopted procurement policy in the amount of $69,555.20 from Westchester Tractor Inc.
Second.
Oh, I need a
A
motion.
motion.
So.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carries. So, I'd like to. Go ahead
I make a motion, for resolution K as presented,
and insert.
and insert town of Rochester.
Sorry.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, motion carries. We
And-
should probably do this with a roll call. So
I was gonna
do
say,
the
yeah,
majority.
can I do as presented, or do you wanna read that out?
Let's read it.
Okay, I make a motion, whereas the Ulster County Planning Board has local law J of 2024, amending chapter 140 zoning and provided recommendations requiring specific modifications, and whereas the town of Rochester Town Board has thoroughly considered the recommendations of the Ulster County Planning Board and deems them unnecessary for the intent set forth in the code updates. Now therefore it be resolved that the town of Rochester Town Board hereby overrides the required modifications set forth by Ulster County Planning Board regarding local law J of 2024. Period.
No, we're gonna do.
A second? You need a second first. Okay, a roll call vote, Councilman Dindile.
Aye.
CRD.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Coleman.
Aye.
Supervisor Noen, aye.
Just put roll call, that's so I can just list our names separately, so roll call all ayes.
Okay.
So that cause she has put our first and last name.
I'd like to make a motion that the town of Rochester Town Board modifies the October 14th, 2024 meeting at 6:30 PM at the Harold Lipton Community Center to include a special meeting in addition to the budget meeting and request the town clerk circulate notice.
I'm a motion, or our second? Did you motion? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for discussion, I'm scheduling the second round of planning board interviews for this time, and we scheduled a budget meeting, we can't do business at it. So I just wanted to make sure we were being transparent about that. So we're gonna start with an executive session and then have an hour of budget. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, motion carries. Okay, discussion. I think the only one I'm really prepared to discuss is A. So voicemail stop sign removal request. Did you guys review the backup, the ones we just put up?
I saw the letter from Jeff. I saw the few email requests we got from residents, right? And we haven't seen, there's nothing else,
Correct.
right? Okay.
Yeah, so I just wanted to see what you guys, I mean, we can remove stop signs through a board resolution. Jeff is recommending that we do it. I am concerned about how fast the traffic is going through on voicemail, but I also completely understand why it's not really an intersection.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
asked Mary Lou to see if yield signs or other signage were things that were under our control, or if it's just stop signs.
for a slow down sign.
Yeah, but like the installation of other signs, and like one of those speed monitoring devices, because the traffic it's very dangerous. Like I used to walk my dog to Fisher, and I did that recently, and it was like terrifying being on voicemail.
Yeah, I never walk the other direction, but the stop sign where it's at, I find not very helpful. Like if anything, I know we don't have a ton of law enforcement, but that's the type of thing I feel like people could very innocently miss, because you wouldn't be expecting it, you know, because it's not an intersection. I don't know, I just don't like unnecessary regulations like that. There is a speed problem, I don't think that's the solution.
I am fine with us looking at an alternative if the stop signs are causing more of a hazard. I will say, instead of removing them, maybe we should bag them for now, like we did when they were first put up, and have them bagged for some time till we get an answer from Mary Lou, so we know where we're going, maybe.
Or we could,
I just
my
don't wanna
concern,
post and then
the
stop.
bridge, the Fantine Hill Bridge isn't gonna reopen until November, so the traffic is gonna stay at the level that it's at. So I think that's my concern, is like if we, I don't know how you guys, if you guys are like, the board can make motions. My hesitation is, do we give it like another week while we try to figure out if there's an alternative, just because the reason why we installed them wasn't because it's a three-way intersection, it's because the bridge closed and all of a sudden all this traffic was coming through.
I definitely think we don't need, like, I don't think it needs to be immediate. I think have her explore the alternatives and then let's discuss. I think doing something like bagging it or taking it down might just cause more confusion.
That was-
That's what I was saying, the bag, like don't remove it all the way till we have a better solution, was it, but if we wanna leave them up, if everyone else is, I'm fine with leaving them till we get a better answer, and just for the public to know that we're working.
But yeah, I do think it should be okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would like us to answer the residents. We can't just let them know the board's exploring options, just to keep them updated so that they're not thinking we haven't done that, because I don't know if people pop back on often for our second half videos.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm fine with leaving them up.
Any other matters? I feel like the September 11th memorializing resolution, I still am working on that, so I'm just keeping it on the agenda because,
So we don't forget.
so I don't forget about it.
No.
I have one other thing related to the
Oh.
project 32. Project 32 bridge. I know we're still working on, you said we have to get some documentation on for the bridge. There is still a lower rating on the bridge. Is there any progress on what's gonna happen potentially opening up the Stony Hill? Or do we need to talk to Jeff to see?
I think we have to check. But thanks for the reminder.
Yeah, so someone asked me about it and I'm like, yeah, that's a good point. We should.
Yeah.
Revisit.
Okay, so tonight we'll be adjourning. We lost Nina Postupak, who was the longtime county clerk. It's a big loss for a lot of people. And I think that was today.
It was announced. today, I
Yeah.
think it was just-
Yeah. And then in memory of Emil Ryan Merling and Giovanna Jenny Solo.
Can I add one?
Mhm.
Cool. Shana Goldberg, Shana Goldberg. Just a dear friend of mine. And I just want to add her. Normally I would go to synagogue, but I haven't been going. I haven't joined this one yet, so I have no way to give memoriam.
Sorry for your loss.
Thank you, that's okay. It's actually been a year, it's for a year.
And mine is in Larry Forzato, who is the partner of the founding, member of the founder of My Food Pantry, who was lost last month. And, Margaret Peggy St. Clair, she wasn't from this town, but, she was a local that many knew, who went through some medical issues, and had some, but she passed away and she was very, very sweet. That was my favorite to wait tables on, serve her breakfast. So, and her family.
Okay, very much to adjourn.
Second.
Oh,
Motion?
I'll second.
all right.
In order